Hey guys, welcome back to Hosenhoffen. In this episode I'm going to show you how to normalize, anneal, and harden using a charcoal forge. I got this 105-year-old charcoal forge, or it's really a coal forge, but I threw a charcoal in there. I'm adding air to the charcoal. I always use royal oak or cowboy lump charcoal. And just add air slowly to the fire. You don't want to go balls out because you'll melt your steel or burn it up. You just want to go carefully, slow. Keep an eye on the steel. I don't know if you can see it. It looks like it's right in the center. See a little bit of the back end of the tang sticking out. Slowly adding air. Alright. Let that wind down just a little bit. Grab my tongs. Alright, so I didn't get the tip. You gotta get the whole blade pretty much even. Alright, we're gonna try to figure out how to do this. 3-armed. Alright, you know you're at a good heat too. You can't hear it, I tried. But it'll have a nice gentle kind of roar. It almost sounds like flowing water. That means you've got a good amount of air. You're not adding too much, and it's not enough, because if you don't have enough, it just sounds like a campfire. But you need just a little bit of a roar, the whooshing of air. Alright, so that looks good. Let me grab my little tongs. That should be kind of like that color. That might be a little bit hot. It's a lot hotter looking on the camera than it is in person, but you want kind of a nice red heat. Let's see, I got it. Look at that talent. Tighten that with my knee. So, the next step is we sit there and wait for it to go to black. Cool your tongs off too while you're waiting. Nice bucket of ice water. Froze overnight. I hate that. It usually breaks the bucket. Sit there, wait. Watch. You wait for it to go to a black heat, and just once it gets to that point, you stick it back in. You might add just... Okay, I'm just going to add a handful more charcoal. That's what it looks like before it gets all white and powdery and burned. Piece. I usually try to break up those bigger pieces, but I'm doing it one-handed and I don't have the coordination for that. Alright, let's look at this. It's at a nice black heat, so see if I got the talent to get this undone. Try not to make you guys seasick too, motion sick. Alright, undone. Come back over here, stick it right in your firebox. That's kind of dirty. Alright, we got it in there. Got these littler tongs. They got a little bit smaller jaw. I don't know what these are. They came with a box full of farrier tools, and I use them for sheet metal and really thin knives. They work great. So I'm going to hold on to it and turn my blower. Oxygen adds heat to the fire because more heat means the faster the chemical reaction between the oxygen and the carbon that's in the material, such as coal, propane, wood, charcoal, magnesium, pretty much anything. Any kind of fire is an oxidation of whatever chemical it is. And the main catalyst for chemical reactions, as far as I know, is heat. Yeah, this fire feels good on this cold day. Alright, I'll let that crank for just a second and check blade temperature. Alright, you want to get most of the blade, if not all the blade. Just because, so it's even really hot. I wonder why. I need my bigger tongs. They're down here. I need to build myself a coal rake. But if you guys have watched my episodes before this, and you will see this in episodes that are upcoming, I am a very lazy human being, and I do not want to work harder than I have to. And I'll get to it eventually. I'm probably making my life hard using just tongs, but I'll make a coal rake in a video in the future. Just remind me. You want to have a little bit of a pile of coal on top of it, because it kind of holds the heat in a little bit more. You can have some of it exposed, but at the same time, the higher the pile of coal, the more insulation factor there is. And if you guys got a blower too, you don't want to go too fast. Just a nice steady turn. You want to crank the machine. Be sure to take care of your blower too. Oil it as often as you want. But not too much, because then it gets all gummed up and full of garbage. And it's just more maintenance. Grabbing my little tongs. Back over to here. Work on the tips a little bit. Open wider. There we go. The blowing. This is the normalization process, part 2. You do it 3 times. All right. That's pretty good. Back to the vise. Do it one more, I'll save you the effort, or time watching. Oop, I'm going the wrong way. Trying to do this with my knee. Alright, there we go. We're going to let that sit and cool to black. When you are normalizing this, when you put it in the vise, put it in there at pretty much the end, because you want to grab it up here, because then the bottom of your blade will cool off and the top of your blade will cool off, different than where the jaws will suck all the heat out, and then it'll normalize differently. So you want to try to get it very close to the end as possible and stay away from your cutting edge, because that's where you want your grain, there, the finest. All right, I'm not blowing at the moment, but as you have like a longer blade and a smaller firebox, see the blade coming in and out? You just want to slowly turn your blower, and then if with your other hand, take the tongs and just move your blade back and forth, trying to get a really consistent, even heat. This stage is going to be called annealing. This is where you take all the stress out of your blade so it won't crack and you have the best chance of results for when you quench it. It's kind of like taking it to a day spa, just to really get it relaxed before it has to do a big meeting with the corn oil and hardening gods. In this stage, you really got to get the whole blade even the very end of the tang is sticking out. And then once you get the whole blade even, you stick it into a big bucket of completely burned ash. You stick it in very dry sand. You can stick it in perlite. Just anything to really make the blade cool down as slowly as you possibly can. And you want it to come down from about 1500 degrees to room temperature as slowly as possible. Just really, this is a very critical stage. All right, so from here, I gotta move the blade because there's a part that's getting a little hotter than the rest. Just pull it backwards a little bit. You can kind of see in there. I don't want to get my phone too close to this fire though. It was yelling at me because it got too hot. See the sparks coming off? It's really cool. Alright, you gotta be careful not to overheat the tip because that's the thinnest, and that was where it'll get the hottest because it's got the least amount of thermal mass. Alright, so I gotta bury the little back end of the... Make sure the whole blade is just a nice, consistent, even temperature because that makes the grain and the steel all the same size. Step back a little bit, my phone's getting really hot. And just real slow, take your time. Watch your color. If you can see your blade, make sure it doesn't go into yellows, bright oranges. You want to keep it at kind of a low orange to bright red. Any more than that, you'll change the grain structure. And that's everything in a knife. It shows up a lot brighter than it actually is, but it's kind of an orange color. That's where you want it. Gotta work on this tip just a little bit. I've never done it, but I've heard that you can actually just leave your blade on top of the coals and just go inside for the day and just let it cool down as the fire dies out. Okay, getting this. See, that tip's just a little bit too warm, so we're going to put it off of the firebox. That, gotta cover the blade up again. This is using a lot of fuel, I must say. However, lump charcoal, if you're in the right area, is kind of cheap. And it's fine. Most of the time you get it from a feed store. I usually get mine from a place called Big R or Safeway. Sometimes Lowe's has it. Keep this as even as we can. Okay. Put that forward. It's easier to do one-handed. This is called perlite. It's I think it has something to do with volcanoes, but you find it at a garden center, and it aerates the soil for gardening plants, but it also is a very, very good insulator. It has lots of little tiny air pockets. I have 2 knives and a pommel in here right now for a big blade, and you want to put them really close together so they kind of share heat and slow down as slowly as possible, so they become really soft. And after it's annealed, it usually takes a couple hours, but after it's annealed, that's your time to drill holes, put any like intricate file marks in it, your decorative stuff, because your steel is going to be dead soft. And then after that, you go to the hardening thing. And then once you harden it, you're done. You can't file it, you can't drill it. You can, but if you got the right tools and whatnot. But it's just best to do it when it's annealed. Okay, this blade has been annealed. It is at room temperature, even though I'm still holding it with tongs. Don't mind that. Plot hole. I'm going to heat up the whole blade to about 1550 degrees. It's a nice bright red color, starting to get into the oranges. And I'll show you how to do that right now. Put this into our firebox. Got to add a little bit more charcoal. This is mostly burned up. We'll bury the blade, start bringing that thing up to temperature. Don't want to shock it ever. This material is 1095. It's oil cool. It's really diverse blade material. You can put Hamon lines in it. You can go crazy with this stuff, and it's just a wonderful material. I highly recommend it. When I'm trying to harden it, I'm just moving the blade slowly back and forth while I'm blowing with that back and forth. Just trying to get this thing to a nice, it's kind of an orange color. The blade's really good, but I want to pull the heat back into the handle a little bit. So I'm gonna pull it right there. Ooh, hot. There we go. Hope you guys can see this. It's important. It's important. Get back on the fire just a hair. Tongs. Grab my blade. See the color. Oh, I lost all my heat. That's all right. I have not used this yet. I just got done restoring this forge, so I'm learning with you guys. But I do know how to harden and temper a blade. I've made quite a few. Stand back a little bit, my phone's getting hot again. It actually shut down because it got too hot. Apple, build me a forge-proof phone. Grabbing my toes, it's so hot. Push the blade through. Get the handle a little more. Will it clear? Ooh, just barely. Keep doing this, but you've got to be really careful about not overheating your blade, or you'll have to start over with your normalizing and annealing. Stop the blower. Move the blade again. Just a little bit, just a bit. Okay. There we go. Oh, nope, doesn't clear this time. Yeah, this is definitely going to be a two-part episode. It's okay. I enjoy making videos. If you guys want me to make anything, any specific, any tools, anything like that, just let me know. I'd be more than happy to. All right. I'm calling that good. All right, this is just corn oil. Oops. Just stick it in your corn oil bucket. Oops, shit, I completely dropped it. Excuse my language. Where the hell did it go? Well, all right, let's just hope it didn't warp. Oh, that's slick. Holy cow. Look down the center of the blade. Wow, it didn't warp. I can't believe that, even after dropping. That should be hard. It's probably glass hard right now, so don't drop it. Don't break it. Don't try to grind on it. Just take it and set it somewhere soft and pillowy. Set you right there. There's my hardened blade. And to temper it, I've got a video. Check it out. It's just throw it in an oven at probably 425 degrees for an hour. And then pull it out and then throw it in either warm oil, about 150 degrees, or rinse it off with hot water. Make sure it's really hot because you don't want to shock it too bad. All right, guys, if you got any questions, just throw me a message on Facebook. Check out Hosenhoffen Blades and Metal on Facebook. Write comments, like, favorite, subscribe, share with friends, ask questions, and most of all, have fun. Thanks, guys. Goodbye.